take notice, and they're constantly trying to learn. So I love to see them understanding where the history of the sport came from and why they're able to do what they do.
8:30 in the morning here in the UK. It is a Thursday morning. It is light outside. It's 7:30 in the evening in Australia, in Melbourne. And it's dark at the moment because the roof is on. The Australian national anthem has just been belted out to great acclaim. A wonderful performance from a young girl in the centre of the Rod Laver Arena. And it means we're now just moments away from the first semi-finals. So the plan is we'll be starting off with Elena Rybakina against Victoria Azarenka, the 22nd seed Rybakina, the 24th seed Azarenka, and that'll be followed by Magdalena, the world number 45, against Arina Sabalenka, the world number 5. And don't worry if you feel we haven't spoken about them, we will be speaking about them. There's going to be about a 15-20 minute turnaround between the two matches, so plenty of time to speak about the two players that will follow. But now the roof will start to open, and very shortly the players will be out. And we heard, Annabelle, from Elena Rybakina. It's really nice just to hear little snippets from Pat, and then they hear the interview with Russell, and just to start to get to know her a little bit better, because she has said, why am I on court 13? Why am I on court 12? And I remember seeing her at the US Open last year with her coach, and two young girls went up and asked for her autograph. She gave it to them. When she and her coach left, the girl said, I don't know who that was, but I knew it was a tennis player. And that's the Wimbledon champion.
I know, it's extraordinary, isn't it? And maybe, I know Pat said about the celebration at Wimbledon, but there was no celebration, which was extraordinary because we're so used to that moment, you know, when a player has achieved their dreams. And she's often talked about her dream was to win Wimbledon. You know, so it was a little bit strange as she just kind of sauntered forward and shook hands. But I wondered whether it's because of all the controversy surrounding the fact that, you know, she was born in Russia, okay, gone to train in Kazakhstan, so she felt a little uncomfortable about the whole situation. Maybe that was why she didn't want to make a big song and dance about celebrating. But I'm a big fan of hers. You know, I always think she's terribly sweet when she comes across in her interviews. You know, she's very honest. She says what she's thinking. Okay, the game might be a little boring for the public because it's just big booming serves, but there's plenty to admire in the backhand, particularly cross court. And I always remember when I very first saw her play in Dubai, and she took Halep to 7-6 in the final set. It was an unbelievable match. I mean, I've never seen competitive tennis quite like it. It was an extraordinary contest. And Halep came off court and said, that's one of the best backhands cross court I've ever faced in my life. And she was utterly fearless. And it's a very rhythmical, smooth, just beautiful kind of effortless strike, but it's much more efficient and effective than it actually looks. She's a very deceptively good tennis player. Okay, she's incredibly tall and sort of you know, slightly ungainly the way she moves. She's not sort of light on her feet and dancing around the ball. I mean, I think movement will always be a little bit of a problem for her, but maybe not. Like Lindsay Davenport, who had that big booming serve and huge ground strokes, she could, you know, work around that and get the first strikes in, and then people couldn't move her around. And I think it's a little bit like that with Rybakina.
Someone else who's got a really good backhand, Pat, is Azarenka. Now, she could outplay Rybakina from the baseline, but Rybakina, I mean, you know, if she's banging down those aces and ripping the ball from the baseline, it's going to be tough for the Belarusian.
Yeah, well, it's a cool night tonight, and that's the other thing we have to throw into this equation. The ball is not going to zip off the court as quickly, and I think that will suit Azarenka. She is very, very solid from the back of the court. She's good going cross court. She's good going down the line. She's got a good serve herself. She's competent at the net. Yeah, it's gonna be a big ask for her. There's a bit of breeze, but it probably won't affect the play that much in here as we're seeing the roof opened up after the musical performances here. So there's a light breeze, but I don't think it will affect. But it's a cool night. So there's going to be rallies. The balls have been talked about a lot here. That in the fact that they're very fast for the first couple of games, pretty fast for another couple of games, and then slow down very rapidly, which will mean lots of rallies, but it'll also mean that the player with the biggest power, when those balls slow down, will have a bit of an advantage because they will be able to hit the winner. They'll be able to force the play. if they can do it enough times. 1, 2, 3, 4. There might be 6, 10, forehands and backhands in a row. But the player with the bigger power has got a chance when it's cooler to get that a bit off the court. So it's going to be quite fascinating. Azarenka is a very good athlete. Will get a lot of balls back. It's going to be a fascinating match, actually. Absolutely fascinating.
We're seeing the behind-the-scenes view of just outside the locker room, the holding area for the players. And Victoria Azarenka has her PSG T-shirt on once again, and she has the blue leggings, trousers that will come off. And just going through a few things, I think actually, Rossa, she was just asked to take off the PSG T-shirt. I actually was sort of trying to lip read the conversation, although she's putting another one on, but she was. They were mentioning and motioning to that PSG badge, which she wore in the last one as well.
Yeah, she's been wearing it quite regularly, so I don't know what that conversation between her and the referee, Wayne McEwen, was all about. Maybe he noticed a slight smudge or a slight stain on her top and suggested that she change it for a fresh one.
Because this is a semi-final. I've seen Elena Rybakina in the background. Now, leading the way should be Victoria Azarenka. Oh, she's gone. Look at that. I think she's going to have to slow down. Yes, she does, because she is the lower ranked of the two. She's just unzipping the bottom of the trousers. She'll now take those trousers off, so it doesn't have to be done when she gets out on court. She has the Force of Nature Nike kit, and she wears, it looks like a play suit, but it's actually a top. And then the shorts, very tight fitted on Azarenka with the white headband. She's sorting herself out, and now the walk will begin. It's the second meeting between these two players, and as the 24 seed Victoria Azarenka, the 33-year-old who will eventually get to 2012 and 2013 and her back-to-back titles here. And when she's won matches this year on the Rod Laver Arena, as she's left, she's just tapped the board on the Corridor of Champions with her name on as they make their way alongside the names and along the black carpet, and actually quite a way behind is Elena Rybakina, the 22nd seed, but she has that sort of laid back, relaxed style. And if there is any fear and anxiety, how does it feel hearing that heartbeat as they make their way to the top of the steps and ahead of the introductions to the Rod Laver Arena? Victoria Azarenka out first.
It's women's singles semi-finals on Rod Laver Arena. Please welcome world number 24, Victoria Azarenka.
She's won 47 matches at the Australian Open. It's a 9th Grand Slam semi-final. She's won 5, she's lost 3. 33 years of age and a 2-time champion.
Their opponent, Elena Rybakina,
the Wimbledon champion. Wonderful reception for her as she walks out, a smile on her face, the black visor. She does have a poker face, doesn't she? First Australian Open semi-final. And as I mentioned, the ace leader, 35 through 5 matches. Second meeting between the two. Rybakina coming through in straight sets on the courts, the hard courts of Indian Wells in 2022. And Annabelle, you have to look at that experience that Azarenka has got. 47 matches. We talk about this as Novak Djokovic's backyard, going for his 10th title, but 47 wins. She's comfortable on these courts, Azarenka.
Yeah, she really is. And it's the scene of her greatest success on the tour, and it's incredible to see her doing what she's doing now as a mum. She's 33 years of age. She's still motivated, still hungry, and still wants to go out there trying to add to that tally of 2 titles that she won here that you've just mentioned. But I thought she looked pretty stony faced when she walked onto the court, to be honest, and I thought Rybakina kind of sauntered out the way that she normally does, have a little bit of a half smile on her face, just looked like she just sort of absorbs it all, takes it all in her stride. And it's very difficult to know what goes on in Rybakina's mind, because she's very deceptively hiding any emotion. She's the opposite of what we heard from Azarenka, who said, she's feeling anxiety out there. I'd say Rybakina looks a lot more comfortable right now.
And Pat, that's what makes Rybakina such a dangerous opponent, because there's nothing you can feed off with Rybakina. You can't get angry at her. You just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's interesting. Her coach is Stefanos is very animated, and having practiced with her plenty of times with my players, he is constantly talking to her. He's constantly trying to get her fired up, constantly yapping in her ear. Come on, do this, do that, do this, blah, blah. I mean, it's actually been quite annoying because we're about to play the next point, and he's yapping away and almost yelling at her about something, and she has no emotion whatsoever. She just goes out there and tries that on the next point. But it feels like that sometimes she needs a bit of a kick in the butt sort of thing to get herself going from time to time, because she is so relaxed. But boy, does she have those long arms of hers. She can really let go of a shot, and winners can come from anywhere. And that is very unsettling for an opponent, where you think, okay, I've hit a good shot there and she's just blasted a winner, or I've got her under pressure and she's just hit a big serve. So it's going to be patience for Azarenka. She's going to have to be patient and just keep plugging away and hoping that those long arms and legs get tangled up occasionally on a big point, and that she can get she can get a nose in front.
One thing, Russell, in favour for Rybakina is there are points being awarded here at the Australian Open. She didn't get the 2000 for Wimbledon, so the ranking didn't move as it should have done. And whatever happens today or going forward from here, should she reach the final, her ranking will reflect the fact that she is a Grand Slam champion.
Yes, it will reflect the fact she's a Grand Slam champion if she wins here. She may well very credibly be able to argue she should be the world #1 if she wins here, and then will have won 2 out of the last 3 Grand Slams. But because there were no ranking points awarded at Wimbledon, she knows that if she wins this semi-final and Magdalena loses to Arina Sabalenka in the second semi-final, she will definitely be top 10 whatever happens in the final, could rise as high as #8. And Victoria Azarenka actually would be a top 10 player if she won the title here. So that will at least mean that Elena Rybakina is going to have slightly easier draws in the tournaments to come after this.
You're listening to Tennis Breakfast. Victoria Azarenka, a very popular figure here, has just been introduced to the crowd. There's a little wave with the racket as she nods to the ball. It is all business. This is such a bit. It's been so nice watching Victoria Azarenka play some vintage Azarenka, Annabelle, through the rounds.
Yeah, she really has, actually. We've always admired her ball striking capabilities and the fact that she hogs the baseline the way that she does. She hates to be pushed too far behind it. She takes the ball extremely early. She's quite mechanical in everything she does, not just that service motion, which is almost the opposite of what she's going to face down the other end, which is quite a smooth, fluid, beautiful service motion, one of the best that's you could see on a court. But Azarenka's had to work extremely hard on it. She sort of sometimes aborts the ball toss and she goes through her rituals and routine to try and get that serve into play as well as she can. But she also takes the return of serve extremely early, Azarenka, so it's going to be very interesting to see how she returns such a big serve today. Will she try and take it early? Where will she position herself? And she's got to try and get a good strike on that return of serve to stop Rybakina controlling the point, because she'll just be redirecting the balls into the corners and will want to dictate. So they'll be pretty similar in what they're trying to do from the baseline, but it's all going to be a lot about how well Rybakina can serve actually and get some free points and just motor through service games.
There's been a lot of fist bumping in the Rybakina box. They're all settled. These boxes are quite small, and when you've got a lot of grown men in the boxes, they're all kind of knee to knee and kind of all cuddling each other and squished together. But they are in their places. They are in the boxes. The roof is open. The sun is shining. It's 7:43 in the evening local time, so that means it's coming up to 9:15 in the UK on this Thursday morning, and it's women's semi-final day. If you'd like to get in touch with us, hashtag BBC Tennis at 5Live Sport. You might have a question, a comment. You might want to tell us who your favourite is. We will be building up to Magdalena and Arina Sabalenka in the break between these 2 semi-finals. But with the action about to begin, let's hand over to our Melbourne commentary team for this one of David Law, Pat Cash, and starting things off, correspondent Russell Fuller.
So can the Wimbledon champion also become the Australian Open champion? Elena Rybakina has made it as far as the semi-finals with 3 notable victories over the last 3 rounds. First of all, over last year's runner-up Danielle Collins in 3 sets, then against the world #1 and the winner of 2 Grand Slams last year, Iga Swiatek, and then a fellow Grand Slam champion in Elena Ostapenko in the quarter-finals. Only dropped the 1 set so far. Mind you, Victoria Azarenka has just dropped 2 and has been very impressive, in particular against a trio of Americans, beating a former champion in Sophia Kenin, last year's semi-finalist in Madison Keys, and then Jessica Pegula for the loss of just 5 games in the quarter-finals. And she made a blistering start to that match, Pat. The first 4 games were frighteningly good.
Well, she's aggressive. You can see the way that she moves around the court. Yeah, it's as Annabelle, or I think, said, you get the difference. The 2 players in their body language is quite significant. Azarenka sort of pounces around the court and quickly goes across here, and so her game plan is be aggressive, and Rybakina is okay. I need to get my toes going. I need to get these long legs and arms going. Otherwise, I could get tangled up in the first couple of games.
Rybakina to serve from the far end, and she just misses as she aims towards our commentary box down the tee here inside the Rod Laver Arena. Second serve also misses. Alison Hughes is our chair umpire, but you heard an electronic voice there because all the line judge calls are electronic and pre-recorded, but not an ideal start. Novak Djokovic did it last night in his quarter-final with Andrei Rublev, and it didn't hold him back. But a double fault for the Wimbledon champion. Now she's landed a first serve. No, she hasn't.
Touch the net.
It was a let. So another first serve for Rybakina. Backhand wide from Azarenka. Azarenka wearing shorts and a top, and as Heather Watson so memorably put it, it's that outfit which looks as if a rainbow has thrown up. Ace from Rybakina.
It's a good description, actually. I'm not sure what Nike are thinking. They're not going back to the denim shorts, the denim era, are they? Denim shorts. It's only one step worse.
I wonder what they've got around the corner for later in the year as Rybakina serves. A second ace of the game, so 1 double fault and 2 aces. All these outfits are planned about a couple of years in advance, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe so. 170 k's an hour, that serve wasn't super fast, but well placed right into the corner.
Rybakina with another excellent first serve. 3 aces in the game, 1 double fault as well, but it hardly matters if you're able to serve like that. And Rybakina, after a slightly nervous start with that double fault in the first point of the match, holds extremely comfortably.
I never quite understood. I think it's happened to me as well, but you have the warm-up. You have 5 minutes to warm up. You hit plenty of serves. Should be all ready to go, and then the first point you serve a double fault. It does happen. Happens to everybody. But there really shouldn't be any excuses. And interesting, Rybakina coming out here and hitting her legs with her racket, and that means get these legs moving. That's exactly what I thought. It's okay if she gets the feet going. She's very, very dangerous. She's jumping up and down. That's great management, match management there. You know you get to learn as you get older, and the coaches will tell you what you should be doing. Obviously she's successful, so she's pretty much worked it out.
The 2 players have changed ends, and it's Victoria Azarenka from the far end. Elena Rybakina with a forehand return, and the forehand long, this time from Rybakina, who's wearing a black top, black visor, and she's wearing a colourful skirt with some thigh-length black undershorts underneath. She is a tall woman. Both of these are tall women, both 6 foot tall. Forehand reply from Rybakina. He's onto the baseline. Azarenka, I think, was expecting that to go long, and she's been punished for her slight indecision as Rybakina hits a forehand cross-court winner.
Yeah, good return right onto the baseline. Azarenka did well just to sort of get it back somewhere in the middle of the court, half deep, but plenty of time for Rybakina to wind up that forehand cross-court. And Annabelle talked about her backhand cross-court. Her forehand cross-court's just as good.
Served down the tee by Azarenka, and the high backhand return a little too long from Rybakina. 23 years of age, so a decade between these two players. And a decade since Azarenka won the second of her 2 Australian Open titles. She's been in 3 US Open finals in those golden years of 2012 and 2013, and then very recently in 2020 when she lost to Naomi Osaka in the final.
Yeah, that was a great run. That really, she was stagnating a little bit on her comeback until then.
Second serve from Azarenka to the backhand cross-court of Rybakina, that potent weapon, and Azarenka is netting there on the backhand.
And that's definitely a part of the game plan. We know Azarenka's second serve can be pretty short and can just be right into the slot. It's going to be hard to get away from the long arms of Rybakina. Try and serve wide. If you don't get it perfectly right, it's right into the hitting zone.
30-all, forehand reply by Rybakina. Azarenka cross-court with the backhand, that was well played. A rather limp attempt at the backhand return from Rybakina, but she was pretty much run out of court by her Belarusian opponent.
Yeah, she did look a bit slow getting over there, didn't she?
So.
Yeah, she hasn't quite got the balance going yet, and that was makeable, but she didn't get near the right spot.
No, it wasn't full pelt at all. Azarenka down the centre with the backhand. Rybakina with more pace on this backhand, and now she's coming in behind a big forehand.
Goodness.
And the extra power there is just too much for Azarenka, and we have our first juice of this semi-final.
2 big ground strokes, one across court there. Azarenka popping in the middle of the court, and brave play from Rybakina, stepping up, hitting that forehand right to the other court, other corner.
Rybakina is aced by Azarenka. Second Thursday of the Australian Open coincides with Australia Day this year, so it's been a public holiday. Wild first serve by Azarenka. Closer to Elena Rybakina's toes than the service box. Second serve, backhand reply Rybakina, hit to the backhand of Azarenka, picked up very well by the 33-year-old. Rybakina with a mishit, forehand cross-court, and Azarenka holds, so they both hung on to their serve. A little bit more stressful for Azarenka, but no great alarms, 1 game all.
Yeah, ball didn't really come up on that forehand. Rybakina lined up, looked like she was going down the line, decided to go cross-court. Ball didn't bounce much, and that's something the players are going to have to adjust to, being a cooler night. Ball doesn't bounce off the court quite the same. Actually a very pleasant day in Melbourne, but it's cooler now.
Yeah, a little cool earlier with the wind and a drop in temperature from yesterday. It got very windy very suddenly last night, which definitely did affect the players on this Rod Laver Arena. That's a thumping backhand cross-court winner by Rybakina.
Well, it's early signs. She's telling her opponent, okay, if you drop the ball short, you're in big trouble. That puts extra pressure on Azarenka, but she's experienced enough to know, okay, right, she's hit a couple of good ones, let me get the depth right. Just long. So she'll need to improve that depth, Azarenka, pretty rapidly.
Rybakina's second serve, backhand reply from Azarenka. It was a good one, right back at the feet of Rybakina, who's now hitting a forehand, and the error comes from Azarenka, a forehand into the net.
That's the one she struggles a little bit getting the power off. One that's not so fast, in the middle of it, sort of towards her body. Tends to sort of muscle it a little bit. It's not as free-flowing. Didn't quite get the timing then and hit the top of the net.
One all, 30 love. Rybakina puts a first serve into the net. Azarenka decides to return this on the forehand. Forehand long from Azarenka.
Well, that's the side to target. Another forehand error from Azarenka.
Backhand reply from Azarenka, the forehand from Rybakina cross court. And she's making things look nice and simple at the moment. Some power tennis, some big serving, some brutal ground strokes for so early in the match. And Elena Rybakina, although we're still on serve, Gigi, leads Victoria Azarenka by 2-1.
She does look very relaxed, that double fault aside, the Wimbledon champion. It is coming up to 9 o'clock in the morning. Lovely to have your company on Tennis Breakfast. Following this, we will have Magdalena against Arina Sabalenka, and we have the order of play for tomorrow. So 3:30 a.m. UK time, Karen Khachanov against Stefanos Tsitsipas, 8:30 a.m. Novak Djokovic against Tommy Paul. And Pat, I know we talk a lot about numbers and stats and this and that, and we talked a lot about the Rybakina's serve, but just looking through a few of the stats, and one of the real standout ones, yes, we know the ace count, that is what, nearly up to 40 for the tournament, but 53% of her first serves have gone unreturned throughout this tournament.
Yeah, it's a weapon. It's a fantastic weapon, and it's, you know, that's the most dominant shot in the game of tennis, the serve, obviously more so in the men. But, you know, the big servers that we've seen over the years, obviously the Williams sisters have shown how important it is to have big serves. Lindsay Davenport as well. You know, you've got to back it up, of course, but it's an impressive serve, nice technique. Yeah, she'll serve the occasional double fault because she tends to go for the serve, but she's also got a kick serve. Most of the girls just have a sort of slice second serve, sort of comes into the body.
A weapon indeed. So we're just having a look at the 7 of the original 9 members who are front and centre for this semi-final. Start of the 4th game. Back to us.
1-2 is the score, and there's more power from Rybakina. Azarenka is beaten in her backhand corner, and she finds herself love 15 down.
Just another short ball, big forehand to the forehand of Azarenka, wobbly old reply, and then she jumped up and thumped the backhand for a winner.
Another fine forehand return here by Rybakina, who's looking dangerous. She goes cross-court with the backhand. She couldn't make that low volley, though. Canny return by Azarenka, cross-court backhand dipping, but it was a volley Rybakina should have made.
Yeah, she had the forehand. Instead of going across court like she's been doing, I think she sort of second-guessed herself and said, OK, I've hit a few to the forehand side. I'll go to the backhand this time. Azarenka second-guessed it and had a good passing shot down to the toes. Pretty tough volley to make.
Backhand wide from Rybakina, so Azarenka to 30-15. You would have been disappointed to miss it, though, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would have been there. But it's still tricky, and Rybakina came in with 2 hands on the backhand volley. Only Jimmy Connors has been any player I know that can hit the backhand volley with 2 hands very well. Anna will remind me. I wonder if Martina Hingis said one-handed backhand, I'm sure, backhand volley. She's a fantastic volleyer.
30-15, second serve from Azarenka, a forehand to the forehand of Rybakina. Azarenka with a backhand winner, Rybakina dropping short. And Azarenka just reminding her that you can't really afford to take liberties with me either.
Yeah, one of her favourite plays is the backhand in the middle of the court. She'll go inside out, which is a very tough shot to do. Some of the women players do that very, very well. Even better than the men. It's almost slight mishit, just almost on the sideline.
Service winner. Not quite an ace because Rybakina got the faintest of nibbles at that ball, but excellent serving from Azarenka, who has just come straight back at her in many ways. 2 games all, and refusing to take a backward step.
Yeah, good game, good hold. Therefore, she looked like she could be in a bit of trouble, but good serving, back, a beautiful back, couple of backhands, one winner, one down to the toes of the incoming Rybakina.
2 games all. That's a serve that wins at the point quite comfortably, as Azarenka is actually slightly shanking that, and she hit down into the ground.
Yeah, complete
It's like a table tennis serve. One bounce and over the net, or so she was hoping.
Yeah, hit the edge of the racket, that one.
Backhand reply by Azarenka. Forehand cross-court from Azarenka. He's onto the sideline. Now a backhand cross-court from Azarenka, and that is the first point she has managed to win against the Rybakina first serve in this match so far.
Yeah, forehand across court. Looked like it was going to wobble wide, hit the outside edge of the line. The whole court was open if she was good enough, and the backhand, as so often in her career, held up beautifully cross court into the open.
Fault.
15 all. Second serve for Rybakina. Backhand reply Azarenka. Rybakina into the net with an error from the baseline, and now for the first time feeling a little bit of heat on her serve. She served a tournament leading 38 aces, so that, if she's feeling it, is a get out of jail card.
Good return from Azarenka, right down the middle, not forcing Rybakina to get her feet into position quickly, and she didn't.
There you go, there's number 39.
Wow, what a serve. 179 Ks, right onto the sideline. With that height, she can get the angle very, very wide.
And we're back to 30 all. Rybakina is defending here. Azarenka got the backhand in play, and she's won the point going down the line with a forehand. And has a break point now against the Wimbledon champion.
Oh, fantastic return. She guessed that serve where it was going. She moved across and got it right onto her backhand, her strength, hit it right back deep. Set the next point up. She knocked the shot up nicely.
First break point of the semi-final. Good return by Azarenka. She's slicing her backhand, the Belarusian, and staying at the back of the court. Backhand worked cross-court by Azarenka. Another backhand hits the top of the net. Rybakina goes to the back of the court. The volley from Rybakina was a low one. Down the line goes Azarenka, and a second volley from Azarenka to win the point and record the first break of serve of this Australian Open women's semi-final.
Well, great anticipation. A couple of shots there from Azarenka. Really, really well done. Again, another short ball from Rybakina, and she picked the side, hit the good passing shot. This time a better volley from Rybakina, sort of dribbled it over the net. That she got up, and then she's got, you know, she's the more mobile, more experienced, more touch around the net. Was able to go forward and just hit the short forehand. The low short forehand down the line to a really awkward position, and Rybakina's long arms got there to hit the volley, which was high, but it really set up the whole open court. Popped it back to Azarenka, who dispatched with it nicely.
Great work from Victoria Azarenka after that impressive opening service game. After the double fault, 3 aces and a service winner by Elena Rybakina, but it's Azarenka who's got the first break. She leads 3-2, being watched, as we've been explaining, by 7 members of the original 9, plus some female stars from across Australia. Actors, models, television presenters, tennis players, some of whom are described as tennis legends and others as tennis champions. So Sam Stosur and Casey Delacroix are champions. Renee Stubbs and Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley are legends.
Really? You call Yvonne... Okay. I don't know how that works, but anyway, I'll have 3 of the 4 are certainly champions and legends. I'm sure I'll put Renee Stubbs in that category, but she'd be very happy to be in that. I think, knowing Renee, she probably wrote that biography.
Backhand into the net from Rybakina. She won some Grand Slam doubles titles, didn't she?
She did. She's a very good doubles player, indeed.
And also Sally Capp, the Lord Mayor of Melbourne. I always smile when I see her name. I'm not sure why. It's a cool name. 3-2, 15 love. That's a let. The roof is open. Tomorrow's going to be a warmer day. Saturday looks to be very hot, but certainly for the women's singles final by 7:30 in the evening. Temperatures, I imagine, will have dropped a little bit from the forecast high of 35 degrees, although you never quite know in Melbourne. It can be that sort of temperature in the middle of the night on occasions. Backhand from Azarenka. Rybakina with a mistake, going down the middle, hitting the backhand long, and at the moment the momentum is Azarenka's way.
Yeah, again going down the middle, and that's a good play. You know, we talked about how good Rybakina is off when she's stretched, not hugely, but got enough space to swing those arms. She goes cross court very dangerously, and there's another bad ball toss. You've got to get this rule into for the women's game, or for both men and women.
30 love. That was a very fluent forehand cross-court service to turn by Rybakina, who's now going cross-court with the backhand. More power on this cross-court backhand from the Kazakh player, and that's into the net by Azarenka.
Just a little bit more time, a little bit shorter from Azarenka, and look, the tactics are pretty clear, isn't it? Azarenka wants to get Rybakina on the move, not give her time to take those big swings, because that power is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, nice bit of footwork there from Azarenka, just returning the loose ball on the half volley directly into the hands of the ball girl. Worthy of Paris Saint-Germain. Her son Leo will be very proud. He's a big fan. 3-2, 30-15. Second serve, forehand from Rybakina, forehand Azarenka. She's hit that down the line. Now she's got almost a half volley from the baseline on the forehand, but that is thumped away dismissively by Elena Rybakina for a backhand winner.
That's the exact play that we just talked about. Rybakina had a bit of a wide forehand and thumped it right into the baseline. Nothing much Azarenka could do. Popped the ball up and then straight across the other side. So she's got to go hard into Rybakina's game, into ideally down the middle, no angles. Try and set the play up that way, Azarenka. Keep it deep. Keep the Kazakh moving.
There's another aborted ball toss. It's 30-all, so a big point for Azarenka here. Now she has this 3-2 lead in the first set. Backhand reply Rybakina. Azarenka's forehand. Rybakina with the forehand to the very back of the court. A forehand with air from Rybakina, which has just landed in. Azarenka's not so sure. She's mistimed the forehand. She's pointing to the mark that she thought was beyond the baseline.
She's
and
convinced,
Rybakina has a break point.
Must have just caught the back edge. She's looking to her box. She wants to replay now. She's called for the replay, then said forget about it, but she sees a mark, clearly that's out, but whether that's the one or not.
We are getting the replay now. It's deemed a close call, and indeed it was the very, very back of the line, so perhaps the mark would have looked like it was beyond the baseline in that situation. It's contentious when it's that close, because we know there's inevitably a slight margin of error with these systems.
Yeah.
Well, Elena Rybakina has seen this before because she played Yelena Ostapenko in the quarterfinals, and she didn't think anything that was called out was ever out, assuming she hit it.
Second serve break point here.
Can Rybakina break back? Forehand return. Azarenka with the forehand wide. Just did enough with that second service return. Rybakina, and she breaks back immediately.
Yeah, very good reply there from Rybakina. And it's a signal, and it puts a doubt in the opponent's mind that if you drop the ball short, the point's going to be over, unless you get lucky and guess. And that's what Azarenka did to break serve, guessed twice on the short ball and went there and was right. Puts an awful lot of pressure on the opponent to think, I can't drop anything short.
3 games all. Good first serve by Rybakina. Defended into the net by Azarenka.
Azarenka was looking for the ball, serve down the middle. Lent that way. When the serve came wide, she was all pretty slow to get back to that spot because her body weight was heading the other direction.
Ace Rybakina. Playing in her 4th Australian Open. She was a quarter-finalist at Roland Garros, but the standout performance until this fortnight Wimbledon 2022. Beating Simona Halep and Ons Jabeur in the semi-final and the final as she won the title. More good serving down the middle. Return into the net by Azarenka. And this is 3 game points now for Rybakina for a 4-3 lead in this first set. 24 minutes played. Rybakina with a big serve. A heavy serve to the backhand of Azarenka, who did well to get just a little slither of rapid on the ball, but that is some response, Gigi, having seen her serve broken, breaking back, and then a thunderous service game, which gives Elena Rybakina a 4-3 advantage.
It's frightening, isn't it, that serve? I think I get frustrated playing her because I don't get anything. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you annoyed? Are you nervous? Are you fearful? Nothing from the Wimbledon champion. If you're just joining us on Tennis Breakfast, lovely to have you with us. It is 9:10 in the morning. It is Thursday, the 26th of January, and this is the business end of the Australian Open. Overnight, just some results to bring you from a British point of view. Alfie Hugh at the top seed in the singles and 2-time final runner-up in the last 2 years. Lost just 2 games against Takuya Miki to book his place in the final, where he'll face, there's been a real influx of Japanese male players through the men's wheelchair game, and he's now going to face a 16-year-old Takito Oda in the final. He also has a final to contest in the doubles. He's a 3-time defending champion with his partner Gordon Reid. They've got 15 doubles titles at Grand Slam level altogether. They beat a Japanese pair in the semi-finals, and they'll face a Dutch pair in the final. In the girls' singles through to the semi-finals is the 17-year-old Brit, the 13th seed Rana Stoiber. She will face in the semi-finals the 7th seed Mira Andreev from Russia. Only dropped 1 set so far, Stoiber, but disappointment for Lucy Schuker and Dana Matthewson, who lost in the semi-finals in doubles to Dida de Groot and Aniek van Koot.
Thank you, Gigi. Who have you spotted, Pat?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates?
Yeah, I wonder what he's got planned.
He wasn't on the list of celebrities, but then there were only women on the list of celebrities today because they were honoring the original 9. It doesn't mean there aren't a few famous male faces in the arena as well. 3-4, Azarenka trails. It's on serve. She's hitting a backhand and winning the point as Rybakina puts a forehand into the net. Nothing between these two players at all. It would be a 2nd Grand Slam final for Rybakina. It would be a 6th Grand Slam final for Azarenka. She has much more experience at this stage, appearing in a 9th Grand Slam semi-final, the 33-year-old. (3-2), 15 love. 3-4 rather. 15 love, second serve, and then a backhand into the net by Azarenka as she's pushed back by the Rybakina return.
Yeah, second serve's an issue now for Azarenka. She's got to keep that percentage up. She's had a good percentage of first serve so far. That's well done, because second serve is really getting thumped at the moment.
15 all. Forehand from Azarenka behind the first serve. A forehand cross court. Rybakina goes down the line. And a slight blemish in that it caught the tape, but it looked like a winner the moment it left the strings.
Yeah, again, too short, right on the service line. The first one, it's a pretty stock standard play from Rybakina. As soon as the ball's short, go for the lines.
15-30 as Azarenka serves. Forehand from Rybakina. Azarenka with the backhand. Rybakina down the line with a backhand winner. Again, even though the angle was better from Azarenka, she was dropping short and she's been punished. And these are 2 break points for a 2nd consecutive break for Rybakina and a 5-3 first set lead. (3-4), 15-40. Azarenka serving in towards the body of Rybakina. It's a clever forehand return by her. Excellent play by Azarenka, who's now got a forehand cross court into the open court.
Well, a great shot under pressure there. There was a good return from Rybakina right into the backhand corner. It was a little bit of a miss hit, so Azarenka could get across there and really thump the ball across court. Get the Kazakh player on the run, opened up the court. Good forehand cross court for the winner.
Second break point for Rybakina, again into the body. She returns on the backhand, and Azarenka has found the corner with a forehand cross court.
Two good first serves there. Those 2 points, absolutely crucial. 72% first serves for Azarenka. She needs to keep it up in that region.
Juice. I missed first serve. Most of her success has been on hard courts, Victoria Azarenka. In fact, 20 of her 21 titles, all her Grand Slam finals. She's still got some work to do in this game, though. At juice and 3-4 first set. The ball is allowed to drop. Azarenka with the serve now to the Rybakina forehand. Forehand from Azarenka. Cross court with the backhand goes Rybakina. Backhand Rybakina a little bit short. So Azarenka still on even terms in this point. Now she's on the run with a fine forehand. Azarenka, she's got to run to a backhand corner. She recycles the ball, but Rybakina moving forward just whips that forehand cross court, turns it over, and has a third break point of the game.
Well, that's the point of the match. Both players running side to side. Fantastic angles from both players. Rybakina was able to, on the stretch, able to hit that backhand cross court with great angle. Azarenka did well to get to that ball and get it back over it, but the court forehand corner was completely open.
Third break point for Rybakina. Backhand return. Azarenka's forehand into the net. How costly will that error prove? Rybakina breaks again, and from 3-2 down, she's 5-3 up, and she's serving for the first set, Pat Cash.
Yeah, great to return. I mean, that's absolutely the spot to, if you can get it to Azarenka, that forehand into the body there. As I said, she tends to, it's not as free-flowing and as snappy. It seems to be almost like a bit of a muscle type of shot. Can get it wrong sometimes. And it's off a first serve, so very well played from Rybakina. Didn't go for too much, just get it into that spot. Now the second serve. Azarenka has to do something with this. She has to get in command early on in the point. A good first hit.
Second serve is in. It's a very good first hit by Azarenka, the off backhand. High return by Rybakina is put away by Azarenka. Still had quite a bit to do, but a backhand down the line winner does give her the first point against the Rybakina serve.
Yeah, great return, wasn't it? Right into the corner. Rybakina just floated the ball up. As you said, had quite a bit of work to do. It's a good defensive shot. She hit it perfectly down the line for a winner.
Love 15. Not able to rely on her first serve there. Rybakina. Second serve to the backhand of Azarenka. Hit cross court. Now Azarenka inside the baseline with the forehand. She's the aggressor in this rally. Rybakina has guessed right. Goes cross court with the forehand. Volley Azarenka. And into the net goes Rybakina. And every time you just think Azarenka is tottering a little bit and on the ropes, she seems to be finding an answer. Can she get the break back?
Yeah, he went for the forehand cross court, came into the net. Difficult volley, and she did really well. Stretched, wide, lunge, forehand volley. Hit it very well, hard, back to... It was back to Rybakina, but it was hit so well that she couldn't manage the pass.
Love 30 down. This time a first serve from Rybakina. The forehand down the line. Azarenka defending and hitting a very nice shot cross court. Lovely volley from Rybakina. Backhand cross court. Angled volley. Just what the doctor ordered.
Well, that'll make some of the legends, WTA legends, very happy. They're all great serve volleyers, attacking players. And that was as good a volley as you're ever going to see. I think Billie Jean King would have been... She didn't have a smile on her face. I'd be very surprised after that volley.
That was gorgeous.
And she was in trouble too. That was going to be a love 40.
15-30. Can't follow it up with the big ace though. She fires that one out to the Azarenka backhand, but it was wide, so a second serve at 15-30. She tries to close out this first set. Azarenka's backhand return. Rybakina, what a forehand! The pace on that forehand, which caught the sideline and has brought it back to 30 all.
Well, that was the perfect return. Too good. The cameras go up to Azarenka's box, and they sort of just went, sort of nodded, well, that was just too good. That was the return we've been planning. That's the return you hit to perfection. And Rybakina just swiped it away for a winner.
She's 2 points away from the first set now. She's found a great first serve. More good defence from Azarenka. The forehand from Rybakina, and Azarenka nets. She was where she wanted to be in that Rybakina opened the door slightly, but she couldn't make the forehand, Azarenka. And this is now a set point to the Wimbledon champion in the first set of this first semi-final, live on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds from the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne Park. The set point comes on the Rybakina serve, but she's missed that first serve. Second serve, set point, backhand reply Azarenka, Rybakina's backhand cross-court. Now the volley, punch cross-court, and the pass down the line from Azarenka on the run. How about that to save a set point?
Well, absolutely fantastic forehand passing shot. Rybakina had the high forehand volley, hit it pretty well. There was very little margin for her to hit that ball down the line for a winner. And Rybakina was over that side of the court covering it too, but she was so wide she was able to almost hit it over the net post and curl it back in.
She needs to start again. She's got to get back to earning herself a set point, another set point. She's missed with a first serve here, Rybakina at deuce. Second serve, Azarenka hits the backhand powerfully, and that's long on the backhand from Rybakina. And now it's a break point for Azarenka, who, remember, did have love 30 in this game.
Well, she returned two very good second serves, the very first point of the game, and then this one, second serve onto her backhand. This time hit right into the corner.
Break back points as Rybakina misses the first serve, and Azarenka's had a lot more joy on that second serve in the last couple of Rybakina service games. She's taking it on, she's trying to be aggressive, she has a break back point. Backhand hit by Azarenka to the forehand of Rybakina. Azarenka's forehand down the middle, Rybakina also down the middle with the forehand. Backhand winner, Rybakina. Down the line.
Yeah. Under pressure, get to that Azarenka forehand. She did it twice in a row, was straight onto the forehand, but she did it with such pace that the first one was wobbly, the second one was even wobblier. Short ball. Rybakina could have gone down the line or cross court, decided to go down the line. And Azarenka was just standing there hoping that she would miss it.
Fault.
She has missed the first serve here though at deuce.
Hasn't made many first serves this game.
Yeah, the percentage has been dropping throughout the set. Forehand cross-court return by Azarenka. Hits again cross-court. Rybakina punching a forehand back. It was a high ball, and it gave Azarenka enough time to hit the backhand winner. Took her time, found her spot. Beautifully executed. Second break-back point of the game now for the champion here in 2012 and 2013.
Fault.
Another first serve missed by Rybakina. Second serve, break back point Azarenka. Another deep return, and Rybakina's gone long with the backhand. And once again, Azarenka has come back. And it's back on serve, Gigi, with Rybakina leading by 5 games to 4.
This is an interesting one, isn't it? Rybakina, we know things change when someone steps up to close out a set, to close out a match. But what we saw there, Pat, is just the first serve dropping off a little bit of Rybakina, and that fighting spirit of Azarenka. I mean, she's one of the best returners, and in her heyday, she's one of the best returners on tour, and really taking advantage when she got to look at the second serve.
Yeah, she did, and that's sometimes the only chance you've got. It's very when you're playing Rybakina, you've got to sort of play a men's game type of tactics. Okay, you can't do much to the first serve if it goes in. You just got to sort of do your best to try and get your racket on the ball and get it back. But you have a chance. When she misses the first serve, you've got the second serve, and you can do something with it. And she did that extremely well in that game. Rybakina wouldn't be happy having missed some first serves, of course, but a beautiful, unbelievable passing shot from Azarenka on set point. Got to take her hat off. She played a great game there. Interesting. Rybakina was having a good chat with the umpire, and the umpire got on the phone. So whether she requires something or needs something from the physio, we will soon see.
Yes, we may get some clues at the next change of ends. First of all, though, Victoria Azarenka needs to hold her serve to stay in this first set. Trailing 4-5, a second serve into the net, so Rybakina has a very handy start to this game.
The contrast in ball tosses is quite phenomenal. Pity we don't have, people at home can't see, but Azarenka's ball toss is way out to the right-hand side, which means she can really only slice the ball. Rybakina's is the other way around.
This first serve is good. Backhand reply by Rybakina, and into the net there from Rybakina with an error she would not wish to produce at such a stage of the first set.
And straight down the middle. Didn't quite get underneath that ball there. Get the racket underneath. It was just flat straight into the net. It was low and skidding.
Looks round to her box for reassurance. Hits a forehand return to Azarenka. Forehand from Rybakina, the backhand Azarenka. Rybakina with a flatter backhand cross-court and down the line and onto the line. Azarenka once again with a spectacular winner.
It came out of nowhere. It's the first one she's done. It's been going across court almost the whole time. Rybakina would have been pretty happy with that shot to the backhand. I think anybody expected that one to go straight down the line for a winner, and caught the outside edge of the line.
30-15, backhand reply from Rybakina. Azarenka into the net with a backhand. Good deep replies, these. Good quality. And so much pressure on both of these players, with Azarenka serving at 4-5 and 30 all in the first set of the semi-final.
That was an attempt to get into that forehand. Straight down the middle into Azarenka's forehand. It was at the backhand that time, but it was too good, too much power.
Forehand return from Rybakina, trying to set up another set point, but she shanked her backhand. And instead it will be Azarenka, who has a game point for 5 all.
Again, the return right down the middle. It wasn't exactly down the middle. It was just a nice bit of space for Azarenka to hit that forehand. The tactic was almost perfect from Rybakina.
Game point then for Azarenka for 5 all. Her backhand just catches the top of the tape, and Rybakina has hooked her backhand wide. She was not able to put the pressure she wished to bear on Azarenka there. 5 games all.
Yeah, a couple of backhand errors from Rybakina, and both of those were balls that were low and skidding, flat. And being the taller of the two, and talked about her footwork on those sort of shots that come out at her body, or low, some struggles.
5 games all. Rybakina missing her first serve. She trained at the Spartak club in Moscow when she was growing up. Switched nationality to Kazakhstan at the age of 19. Forehand Rybakina, forehand cross-court from Azarenka, who's going cross-court again to the Rybakina forehand. Rybakina back to that forehand of Azarenka. And that's a fine, fine winner. Again, just dropping a little short, Rybakina, and Azarenka down the line.
Well, it's the tactics. Get into that forehand side of Azarenka, but get 1 or 2 almost just as a warm-up play. All 3 of them were just nice and short, 3/4 length. And the third time, Azarenka said, okay, no more cross courts. I've got this one. Got my eye in on the last 2 you've given me. Boom, winner. Down the line.
Love 15. Second serve from Rybakina. Good reply again by Azarenka, which has been a feature of this first set. Forehand from Azarenka, attacking hard and finding the sideline again. Painting the lines right now in the Rod Laver Arena. Azarenka, and now love 30 on the Rybakina serve.
Well, element of, a little bit of luck there. She was going for that backhand corner off that forehand. Again, Azarenka, Rybakina, it was the right play. She caught it fractionally late, perfectly late. It hit the sideline.
Love 30. Azarenka very animated at the far end as we watch on from the 5 Live Sports Extra commentary box. And a missed serve from Rybakina at love 30.
Hasn't made a first serve.
Isn't it amazing
dropping
how that's dropped off? Second serve off the net cord and long. 3 break points to Azarenka.
She's getting very snappy with her ball toss at the moment. It's just the pressure. Ball toss isn't getting up. She's rushing through that serve. She needs to take a deep breath. Just get that ball toss in the right spot. It's going all over the place at the moment.
First of the 3 break points. Rybakina misses again, so her first serve percentage is going to drop to just under 50% in this set. Second serve onto the backhand of Azarenka. Azarenka reaching for this backhand, and that will drift long. So the first of 3 break points has been saved. Remember, Elena Rybakina led 5-3. She served for the set. She's got to fend off a couple of break points here, or she's going to find herself 5-6 down.
Needs to find that first serve. She's taken quite a bit of time here, calming herself down, get the rhythm right on the serve. Looks at the racket after that one. That was a long way up.
It's completely deserted at that first serve. Second serve, break point number 2 for Azarenka. Backhand from the Belarusian. Rybakina to the very back of the court. A forehand work cross court by Rybakina. Once again, it catches the tape. The rally continues though. Rybakina goes down the line. Now she's got a very, very short ball. No mistake with the forehand cross court. 2 of those 3 break points have been saved now.
It's almost getting a little bit predictable now, going from the forehand in, going across to Azarenka's forehand. And that, after the second one, she decided to go down the line. Very clever play to the Azarenka backhand. That did the trick. Cannot buy a first serve.
It's a 3rd break point for Azarenka. It comes on a second serve. Backhand into the net from Azarenka.
Missed it. That was the right play. She signals, get it over, get it high over the net. She's at the top of the net, hit it flat, hard. If that 1 inch higher, that was a clean winner. That was the break.
5-all and juice. Just when Rybakina finds a first serve, it's a let. First serve into the body, jamming Azarenka up, and she can't make the forehand return. Well, she's showing a lot of character at the moment to come through this game, having found herself love 40 down and unable to find a first serve for love nor money. Game point and an ace. So that was very well done by Elena Rybakina, the Wimbledon champion, saves all 3 break points. She wins 5 points in a row, and she leads by 6 games to 5 in front of this capacity crowd on the Rod Laver Arena, with the second semi-final to come. Aryna Sabalenka against Magda Linette. No one quite knows, Pat, how Aryna Sabalenka is going to perform, given that she's not managed to win any of her Grand Slam semi-finals so far. Mind you, they've all gone to 3 sets. She looks a lot more composed at the moment. I think she's probably going to win that match. What do you reckon?
You would think so, but I tell you what, I've seen Linette up close, practice with her many times last year, the year or so, and she is a very feisty player. She's got a very good game, and she doesn't miss many balls at all. She herself tends to get a little tight under pressure, and I think that's what it's going to be down to. You would think that Sabalenka would sort of overpower her, be able to hit more winners, and that would be her game plan. Really go after Linette, who's not a powerful player but is quick and hits the ball very cleanly. So yeah, I think it'll be who can hold their nerve the best, I think, and get out to a good start. You would think Sabalenka, yeah, but Linette is dreamed of being in this position. She's not going to let it go easily, that's for sure.
No, who knows, in all honesty.
Yeah.
A lot of guesswork goes into these predictions. That's a deep forehand, just inside or even on the baseline at the far end of the court. The ball landed, as we watch, from Azarenka, indeed confirmed as a close call by the digiboards around this arena, catching the back edge of the line. She's serving to stay in this first set once more, Victoria Azarenka. 5-6, 15 love. Very good return by Rybakina, straight back at the feet of Azarenka, who's returned very well to keep this rally more than alive. Rybakina cross court with a forehand into the corner. Fabulous hitting and a wild backhand from Rybakina. All of a sudden coming in, trying to hit the off backhand and spilling that a long way wide of the line. Yeah,
I think she was going to go down the line and decided to change her mind. Azarenka knew she was going to go across court. Started moving there, and she might have seen it out of the corner of her eye and decided to go inside out and mistimed it. Good opportunity gone.
A miss-hit forehand by Rybakina, but good serving by Azarenka, and now we are on the verge of a tie-break, which feels only right to me to decide this first set. It's been high quality. They've both had periods where they looked like they were going to be in the ascendancy, possibly seized the initiative in the match, but on each occasion their opponent has wrestled back that initiative. Azarenka serves into the net, and we've had 51 minutes, now 52 minutes of enjoyment on this Rod Laver Arena. Rybakina's forehand return. Azarenka just manages to get that backhand in play. She's coming to the net, chases down the drop shot. Azarenka could do no wrong in that game. A down the line backhand winner. A team are on their feet, and it is a tie-break, a 7-point tie-break, rather than the 10-point tie-break that could be used to determine the match.
Yeah, drop shot there from Rybakina, and it was actually not. It was a good play. It wasn't the greatest drop shot, but Azarenka just a better mover on the court, a bit more mobile, changed directions very quickly and got up to that with ease.
So here's the tie-break to decide the first set, and a service winner from Elena Rybakina gives the woman from Kazakhstan the best possible start.
It's interesting. They looked at up to the box there after she missed that backhand, and their team, Coach Stefano, was threw his arms and was pointing there, and like, what are you thinking? Why didn't you just go for that? I think it's almost the worst thing that I would never do that as a coach, but it seems to work for me.
Yeah, showing his disgust.
Yeah.
Forehand from Azarenka, it's long. So the first error of the tie-break gives Elena Rybakina a 2-love lead.
And this is where now there's the nerves, the tactics. They want to be very accurate with their tactics, which have been pretty clear what they want to do. the girls, the women have dealt with it pretty well, but now it's the pressure. See what they can deal with it. And that first one straight to the forehand there of Azarenka. Got the wobbly reply that the team had planned would happen.
A let call there. So this is Azarenka serving at love 2. It's a mighty good looking first serve if it hadn't been for the let. Good return by Rybakina and a mighty forehand hit cross court. Fabulous defence from Azarenka, who's now lifting the forehand with a bit of air. Into the net, Rybakina, as she tries to put that point beyond doubt. But the net intervenes as she goes cross court with a backhand.
Yeah, great movement there from Azarenka. Just managed to get that ball that was almost a winner. Just got a couple of strings on the rack and floated a ball deep. Very good defensive play from the Belarus.
I think we just got a replay.
We got a replay of the box, and you can lip read that one pretty simply.
The equivalent of the hands cover face emoji.
He would have got a warning for that.
Backhand into the net by Rybakina. It was more good returning by Azarenka, and that means we're back on serving this mini tiebreak at 2 points all. So is the correct reply just to look encouraging and clap slowly?
Probably. I mean, but somehow the team, it just seems to work between those two. He shows his absolute disgust, and then she fires up and plays better. 2
points all. And there is regular eye contact, isn't there?
There wouldn't be too many players who would put up with that, I've got to be honest. It seems to work with those two.
All the players need reassurance from their boxes on a regular basis. 2 points all. Azarenka with the forehand in. Cross court with the forehand. Rybakina a little bit too long from Azarenka, but she was really forced into that error by some more fine hitting, this time from Elena Rybakina, the 22nd seed. But still nothing between them. Rybakina has won 41 points to Azarenka's 38 in the set, but that really doesn't matter at all. It's all about who wins this tiebreak. First to 7 points. Azarenka 2-3. It's a lovely ready hue to the sky over the Rod Laver Arena tonight. A little chilly for some spectators, including one or two of the coaches. If you're wearing shorts, it's time for the towel over your legs. Double fault Azarenka. So she'll change ends, having given Rybakina an advantage, 4 points to 2.
And that's all the power play, the aggressive play off the second serve that we saw early in the set. It just throws it, as I talked about, it just throws that doubt in the opponent's mind. And then when it comes to real pressure, the error comes up, and it's incredible how the mind games work. It's something that she's done in the first couple of service return games. Has actually had residual effect here when it comes to the tiebreaker under extreme intense pressure. Now time is just to go back to the game plan.
2-4 down Azarenka. Forehand from Rybakina. Azarenka's forehand. They're drilling down the centre. Azarenka goes cross court and misses the backhand. Looking at her strings, hitting her strings against the palm of her other hand, and now having to come back from 2-5 down with 2 Elena Rybakina serves to come if she's going to turn this first set tiebreak around.
Yeah, she's taking her time, choosing the balls here. Her first serve has found its way back a little bit in the last few minutes.
5-2 Rybakina. Here's Rybakina's second serve. Backhand return from Azarenka. Forehand Azarenka cross court. Rybakina cross court with a forehand. Azarenka, what a winner! What an amazing angle as she just turned that forehand over. Cross court. Fooled everybody.
Well, I think it fooled herself too. I think there's a bit of luck in that one. She didn't particularly hit it well. She got it a little early. She was aiming across court, but caught it perfectly early. There's a good chance that would have Could have gone to the bottom of the net.
Yeah.
But it
A
actually
little
ended up-
unnatural, that angle, wasn't it?
It'll end up being perfect.
But she's won the point, and it's 5-3, and Rybakina has missed the forehand. What an amazing turnaround. The two mini breaks have been wrenched back by Azarenka, and we're back on serve in this tie-break now at 4-5.
Poor point there from Rybakina. You know, she needed to really knuckle down and get stuck into a good rally. There was no need to go anywhere near the line on that one. Azarenka was in big trouble. Know the scoreboard, know the score, know that your opponent is in big trouble. Make her come up with some really good stuff.
So these two just do not want to be separated. The post-mortem has been concluded between Elena Rybakina and her coaching team. Eyes back on the prize. Victoria Azarenka at the far end. Missed the first serve. There are some people walking up one of the gangways. I thought that was right in Elena Rybakina's line of sight, but she doesn't seem bothered by it.
Carrying a child, I think the child might have been starting to cry. So he decided to get out, but it was bad timing.
This now the second serve to the backhand of Rybakina. Azarenka's backhand flies long. So this, after a very good quality first set, has been a tie-break of a few errors. It's perhaps not surprising when you consider this is the Grand Slam semi-final, and these are 2 set points for Elena Rybakina. She had one in the 9th game as she served for the set at 5-3. So the second set point on the Azarenka serve. Rybakina's forehand return. Azarenka with the forehand down the line. Backhand from Rybakina. Rybakina's backhand cross-court. Azarenka reaching for it and defending well. Down the line goes Azarenka with the backhand. A forehand now for Azarenka, and she's missed.
Great tactics. Under pressure, just get into that forehand side, right down the middle of Azarenka. She hit a winner, bit of a lucky winner in the tiebreaker, but she just stuck with her game plan, and that's what the coach, that's what the stats men do. They've got a game plan. She did it great in that set, in that tiebreaker. Straight down the middle. Azarenka got one back, but then the next one sprayed out. That's the weakness of hers, and you know, you got to hit to the weakness. If she can pull it out in a big situation in a tiebreaker and deal with that weakness, then okay, maybe too good. But a very interesting tactical battle. There was just one by Rybakina in that set.
That was a real arm wrestle, and it's been won in 1 hour and 1 minute, Gigi, on a tiebreak by the Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina.
And Elena Rybakina has put her coat on and she's left the court, but she will be coming back. Has that first set in the bag. The night is falling in Melbourne. Where are we? 8:47 in the evening. It's 9:47 on Thursday. I'm convinced it's Saturday. I do not know why I'm convinced it's Saturday, but I cannot shake it. So I keep having to tell myself and everybody else that it is Thursday morning. You're with Tennis Breakfast. Lovely to have your company. Just to mark your card of what's to come following this second career meeting between Elena Rybakina and Victoria Azarenka. We will have, it's probably about a 15-20 minute turnaround, during which we will prepare you for the second semi-final, which is Magda Linette of Poland. Came in as the world number 45, Magda Linette. In the live ranking, she's 22. Should she win the semi-final, the 30-year-old, she'll be the world's number 13, but she's up against the form player, Arina Sabalenka. Sabalenka, not only is she unbeaten for 2023, 9-0, she's won 18 straight sets of tennis, so that's going to be intriguing. Hopefully Magda Linette can find a way to stand toe-to-toe with the Belarusian. And then tomorrow, just to look ahead a little bit for you, which will be Friday morning, very early hours, 3:30 a.m. UK time, you'll have Karen Khachanov against Stefanos Tsitsipas, with Khachanov, the Russian, looking for his first ever career win against the Greek player. 5-0 Tsitsipas has that head-to-head, but they've never met at a Grand Slam. And then from 8:30 a.m. it will be a first meeting between Novak Djokovic and Tommy Paul, with Djokovic going for his 10th Australian Open title. And I believe weather-wise, we've talked about it being nice conditions, fairly mild. It's going to be quite hot towards the weekend as we build up to the business end of the Australian Open. So a handful of tennis breakfasts left for you to enjoy. To mark your card again, Friday evening, 9 p.m. UK time, we will have our final hour, evening hour of 5 live tennis, and that'll be building up to the weekend final. So here we have it. Victoria Azarenka, I think she's sort of saying, is she coming back? And I think Alison Hughes in the chair said, I think she's coming back. I mean, she won that first set. They weren't the words of Alison Hughes. Rybakina will be back very shortly. And so let's get back into that commentary box and have a little think about what's to come. Pat is stretching his legs. He's just gone for a little wander. But David Law, you are in position. David, what did you make of that 1 hour of tennis for the first set between the two?
What a fantastic set, first of all. And seeing both of them bring what they've got to the table. Yes, there was maybe an uncharacteristic loss of her service rhythm and momentum and routine for Rybakina. The way it just suddenly went off the boil and she missed 8 in a row was a big surprise. And Azarenka's first service percentage of being lower than 50% also will be disappointing to her. But aside from that, they both just brought it, didn't they? They brought what they've got, and that is, in Rybakina's case, an absolutely spellbinding amount of power and timing from the baseline, and the street fighter that is Azarenka, trying to find solutions. She's also got some power at her disposal, but you know, toe to toe she's probably outmatched, but she made it really competitive, and actually she probably should have won the set in the end, because she had those chances at love 40 on the Rybakina serve at 5-all and didn't take them.
It's really nice to see these players playing at the level they are, with a place in the Australian Open final up for grabs. So it's been nearly 5 minutes since the last point, but we're ready to crack on. Second set, Pat Cash and David Law.
Yeah, you're right, actually, Gigi. It's been a heck of a match, and it's been a long time since that last point, and you wonder what that might do in terms of taking the air out of the sails of these players a little bit. Anyway, Rybakina's got the first set on the board, and forehands cross court and wide by Azarenka. I also like what you say, Gigi, about the way these two players have approached this semi-final with eyes on the prize, with eyes on the final. They have come out and produced, and it's really great to see two players playing, for the most part, well at the same time in that opening set. Won by Rybakina 7 points to 4 on a tiebreak. The 22nd seed she is. That's an artificially deflated seeding, though, because of no Wimbledon ranking points, despite having won Wimbledon. And Azarenka at the 24th seeded position. She's had a pretty rough time of things over the last year, but finding her best tennis again now after that win over Jessica Pegula in the previous round. And she's just hit an ace. So 15-all here. Second set here, and a double fault from Victoria Azarenka.
Yeah, she wouldn't be happy with a tiebreaker. It was a few unforced errors, a bit of a nervous play. Wants to get this first game under her belt. A forehand error and a double fault don't calm the nerves.
Pat Cash, the 1987 Wimbledon men's singles champion, here with us on BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra on BBC Sounds. Here's a backhand hit cross court by Azarenka. That's a lovely shot she's got there. The forehand she's gone cross court with as well. She's hit it just about enough away from Rybakina so that Rybakina doesn't get her forehand down the line right. She doesn't half go for it though, doesn't she, Rybakina? I mean, I'm very curious to know, with Azarenka having spanned a couple of generations, really. She was champion here 10 and 11 years ago respectively, how the Rybakina game stacks up against some of the big hitters she faced 10 years ago.
Yeah, pretty well, as we can see.
I mean, she really does look one heck of a player, Rybakina, when she really cracks this ball. She hits that backhand cross court, down the line attempt by Azarenka, but she's throwing her arms out wide because she couldn't clear the net. Break point here in the first game of the second set.
Yeah, got another slightly short ball there from Azarenka. Rybakina coming in, hitting that backhand cross court. She hasn't had an opportunity to do it that much in the latter part of the last set, thanks to Azarenka's good play. But it's always a danger, isn't it? Good players only need a couple of opportunities and they hit their favourite shots.
Here's a little blocked backhand cross court by Rybakina and a forehand follow-up by Azarenka down the line. She's got breakpoint against her here, regaining her position, and she hits a big forehand cross court. Oh, what a shot, Azarenka! And goodness me, did she need that! Rybakina all over her in the rally, came to the net, and it required the right passing shot, and Azarenka delivered it.
Well, at set point, she hit that passing shot down the line for a winner to save the set. And this time she went across court, but Rybakina's court positioning, so often we see the ladies and the men, modern men, they just do not get into the net quickly enough. And she was slow and couldn't cover that.
Forehand down the centre by Rybakina, and she's really hitting hard down the middle, and Azarenka opens up the court though, and it pays off for her. She finds the corner, and Rybakina on the run hits long. Does she have a weakness, do you think, in some way, Rybakina, out wide?
Yeah,
being a taller woman?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, her movement isn't great, so if you go wide, then you can go back behind her. It's not all that easy. If you go, as she's trying to get back into the middle of the court, and hit that back to where she was. Oh, good ace, right at the right time.
That's a big hold to serve for Azarenka. Set down, break point down. She's made a tough stuff though, Victoria Azarenka, and she loves the battle. I mean, she doesn't need to be playing tennis. She's made over $30 million in her career. She's had a fantastic career. She just loves it. She wants the battle, she wants the challenge, and at 33 years of age, she's shown she's still good for it. Up against a woman 10 years her junior here, but giving as good as she gets. And Elena Rybakina has changed ends now down this near end of the court, where we are sitting, Pat Cash and myself, alongside Russell Fuller, our tennis correspondent, right in the commentary box behind a glass window, which to the players would just look like the black wall at the back. They wouldn't know we're here as the ball cannons into our glass window from the backhand return of Azarenka, but fortunately we can see them. If we couldn't see them, we'd have a bit of a problem. We can. It's all right.
Thank God they can't see us.
Yes, I'd be a bit self-conscious. Here's a serve out wide from Rybakina, but an ace. You do get a sense when they serve from the far end this direction just how hard the ball is being struck, because if it hits this window in front of us, it does make me rock back in my seat.
It does. And Rybakina can pound the serve down. That's for sure. Well, there's one. She's got the timing back, and her serve, gee, it really disappeared towards the latter part of that first set. She couldn't get a first serve in. We got 1 out of about 10, but just regrouped enough to hold onto her serve to force a tiebreaker and then serve well on the breaker.
Backhand hit down the centre by Rybakina. Big forehand cross court, beautifully placed by Azarenka. She's got good distribution with these ground strokes, and she wins the point as Rybakina goes cross court and wide. It's only 40-15 on the Kazakhs serve, but must be quite interesting for Azarenka. She used to always be the sort of power player in matches, probably against anybody except Serena Williams. Now she's maybe having to learn to win in a different way.
Yeah, that's yeah, she gets a lot of balls back. Oh, right on the
that one hit the back edge of the line, I think.
Yep, skidded through. You can see it really skid once it hit the ground, and Rybakina looks over to the coach to say, did that really touch the line? And I think everybody knew by the way that skidded off that it did. So fantastic return from Azarenka. Gee, she hit the baseline a few times in this match. That's where she wants to be, anywhere near there.
Ace out wide, and Rybakina, despite losing those couple of points in a row, just puts her head down and hits another ace. She's got a great demeanour, hasn't she, for a tennis player? I mean, you know, she's not giving you much. She just focuses, moves on to the next one.
Yeah, as we've joked about, if I was her, I wouldn't be looking up to my box too often, but she does pretty regularly. She looks up there for encouragement. Not sure if it's always encouragement, but it seems to work for her.
Watching her, to me, she seems like she's got most of it under control.
Yeah,
So, watching Stefanos Tsitsipas over the course of the last few weeks, Mark Philippoussis making the point that as we see Rybakina hit the backhand winner on the rise to get to love 15, Mark Philippoussis has said about Stefanos' father, Apostolos, just let him get on with it. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I barely ever looked up to the box.
Here's a backhand inside, forehand inside out, struck by Azarenka into the net. So this is a little bit of danger for her. 1 game all love, 30 a set down.
Yeah, good serve, just floated back middle of the court. There was easy put away, but as Azarenka was about to hit that, Rybakina guessed, stayed in the same right position and just put Azarenka on a bit of pressure. Hitting the ball into the bit finer, hitting it into the net, going for the winner.
Served down the centre by Azarenka. Rybakina plants her feet inside the baseline, hits an inside-out backhand that hits the baseline, and now she's got 3 break points. Rybakina, 1 game all in the second set. Rybakina looking to really impose herself now in the second set. 3 break points she has. Azarenka hits the top of the net. Packed house inside the Rod Laver Arena. Great to see for this women's semi-finals day with Magdalena Net against Arina Sabalenka to follow this one. Here's a backhand hit down the line by Rybakina. Goodness me, what a ball strike that is. And Azarenka can't cope with it. She's broken to love. Set and 2-1 down now, and the players will sit down with Rybakina very much in charge. And Pat, something you said in the previous game, you never used to look up at your coach. I remember your coach Ian Barclay for many years. So how did you do things? Did you have a chat just in the locker room before you went out, and then had you already gone through certain scenarios? Well, if you get down, you should do this, or if you get up, you should do this, or is it? I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, we had a basic understanding or basic knowledge of what was required on the day. But it was so much about me executing. You can have a bit of a game plan, and we didn't have the stats in those days, so it was about analysing and working out the player on the spot. I suppose I was just very good at that. I knew what I needed to do. I knew, and you just got to sometimes just keep doing it. But that was, I think, came from the fact that in my day we didn't have a lot of academies, and we didn't have a lot of drilling as players. We used to have some private lessons as kids and whatever, but we used to go out and play match after match after match. Every day after school, I'd play, a couple of sets. I'd play 2 sets a couple of times in the morning, early morning before school with the top club player, adult guy. Then I'd play, maybe 20 match plays on the weekends, a competition. So I knew how to play matches. I knew what to do when. I'd be able to work out a player. And so that was in my head. Now that they drill so much, they don't actually play as much match practice. They hit the ball great, but they don't actually. I know the players aren't. I'm not saying all of them, but I think a lot of the players aren't able to analyse the match and work out what to do when. So they're looking up to their coach to go, what do I do? And a lot of these guys that are up there are older guys who've, a bit like me, have played a lot of matches, a lot of practice, can analyse the game very quickly and say, right, this is what I need to do. But particularly the ladies will look up and go, what am I supposed to do now? And that's the coaching element that I don't like in tennis for that exact reason. It's an individual sport, but it's not a bad idea, I suppose, the coaching.
Here's a forehand at the feet of the player at the net, Rybakina, who plays a lovely little forehand volley cross court. That's very nicely done. No panic at all as Azarenka was rushing in towards her. 7-6, 2-1 with a break, Rybakina, and 15 love. I mean, you say a lot of the coaches are older guys like you, who've played a lot of matches. I'm not sure the chap in Elena Rybakina's corner has played that high a level, has he?
That's true. But
and he's got all the answers, has he? Serve out wide from Rybakina. Deep return by Azarenka right at the feet of the Kazakh, and that's gone into the net. of her back.
As I said, his coaching style, I think, would not work for many, many players. It happens to work here with Rybakina. And some, they have an understanding, but they also got a team around them. Stats, all sorts of things. Players, having co-coaches that can work out various things for their player.
Serve kicks up high from Rybakina onto the backhand of Azarenka. She crunches it cross court. Aggressive stuff, as it always is from Azarenka. She might go down today, but she will go down punching, swinging, fighting. And at 15:30, she's mounting her comeback here.
Yeah, we've seen these matches just go up, and it's somebody gets a bit of a run for a couple of games, and then the other player comes back. It's been fantastically competitive. These players are not giving an inch. Okay, they may lose a couple of games, but boy, they're bouncing back quickly, and that's why they're champions.
Forehand return, lofted by Azarenka just in front of her. She hits her forehand cross court though into the net as she's on the run, and she's just wincing as that ball goes into the net. That forehand is certainly not as reliable, is it?
Well, never really has been, but we've got somebody who's got enough firepower to really damage it. It's always been a very good shot when she's got a bit of time, but it's so often today, or against players like this, or Sabalenka, or whoever, the Williams sisters, just don't give you the time.
Forehand hit long by Azarenka's backhand this time. Forehand rather this time. This could get away from her on the scoreboard. Even the games are close, but Rybakina can race through a service game, can't she, with this serve? Azarenka's done a great job of keeping it close throughout this match so far. If she's got behind, she's quickly got a break back. Well, this time we have some daylight. 3-1 for Rybakina after that latest ace.
And she's got the chance to relax a little bit now, Rybakina, and swing away at any second serve, any short ball that she's got. And against a fine balance, you can't just swing away at anything. But now she's got Azarenka on the rope. She really needs to play a good, hard, tough game. And here's exactly what she wants, a second serve. If it's a little bit wide, she's going to go for it.
Serves into the body, does Azarenka, runs around the backhand to swipe a forehand cross
right in the corner.
Yeah, that one was close, but it was in.
Well, that's not totally discouraging, because that's a game plan I've talked about. They're going hard, straight in down the middle to Azarenka's forehand. And that one had just a little wobble on it, and it hit the outside edge of the line. And the coach will be going, don't worry, if she hits that line, then too good. If she misses it by a fraction, you got the point.
Backhand hit down the line by Azarenka long. So 15 all.
Unusually backhand errors are coming now from Azarenka. Interesting stats. Rybakina has made 94% of returns. So whenever Azarenka serves the ball, first or second serve, 94% of the time it's coming back. 78% for Rybakina, or for Azarenka returns. Obviously, there's a bunch of aces.
Forehand crashed back cross court, but into the net goes the forehand from Azarenka, and again,
there's the tactic.
Yeah,
that's hard to the forehand.
Breaking down a little bit.
Breaking down, yeah. And this is, it's a game of endurance. Everybody can play great for a set or set and a half. The men's, maybe it's 2.5, but the top players are ruthless. Got to do it for 4 hours.
This is an important couple of points coming up here. 15:30 on the Azarenka serve. 1-3 down, a set down. She has to hold on somehow. That's not going to help. Backhand slice, shoulder high, that's gone into the middle of the net.
Well, good serve, actually. Right in the body of Rybakina. She got a little bit tangled up, but she did a really good effort to get her body out of the way, swaying away as if it was a bouncer coming at her from from Pat Cummins, and right at her head. Get used to that, you Englishmen. It's coming. But she did it well and hit it right on the sideline.
Break point. Here is Azarenka coming in behind the serve, and she puts the backhand down the line and away. She still has break point against her, but that's a decent start. Break point still for Rybakina, the Wimbledon champion, who returns with a forehand inside out. It clips the top of the net. Now she lines up that big forehand.
Oh, she got tight.
Me, that is an absolute shocker from Elena Rybakina, because she had successfully wrong-footed Azarenka. She'd waited for her to move, and then she put her forehand into, well, not even the tape. It was too low.
That was if I get this over the net, I'm a double break up. I've pretty much got this match won, and she got tight. That's the pressure of it all. Wow.
Serve down the centre, Azarenka. Can she make her pay? Yes. Forehand drive volley cross court, and Rybakina again on the run is all over the shot with that forehand. I wonder whether we're going to be thinking back to that point, you know. That missed forehand down the line on break points for a double break for a 7-6, 4-1 lead that Rybakina missed. Who knows?
She's barely missed one of those, has she? The whole match.
No, if Azarenka can get out of this game from 2 break points down.
She's missed a couple of low backhands, but not the sort of low short forehand there. Anyway, that's nerves.
Second serve, Azarenka. Point to narrow the gap for 2-3.
How many times has she thrown the ball up and stopped it?
Yeah, plenty of people think you shouldn't be allowed to do that. You must hit the ball if you chuck it in the air, and she hits her backhand into the net. Azarenka, back to juice. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. They stop the clock. Once you start your service motion, you got to finish it. The point is started. You can't just catch it. In actual fact, if you do catch it, that's touching the ball. That should be, but they do that as well. They let them get away with it.
Lovely backhand cross court from Azarenka, right into the corner. You can hear the crowd really starting to get behind Azarenka now. They want the comeback. They want the epic. I think there's a bit of nostalgia from 10 years ago. Crowds tend to like players when they get older, don't they? As a serve goes down the centre from Azarenka, and long goes the forehand from Rybakina, and Azarenka holds on and marches back towards the chair, having seen off that little bit of danger, quite a lot of danger actually. She was point away from a double break and 4-1 down. Instead it's a single break and 3-2 down.
So still a little bit of daylight for the Wimbledon champion. But Pat, we saw this in the first set when Rybakina was broken when she was serving up for the set. You just talked about there how she got tight. When you were playing, how did you deal with the nerves? When you felt yourself getting tight, what can you do to change things, or do you just have to somehow fight through it?
Well, there's an element of fighting through it, but you also need to know your game. There's certain elements, your service percentages. Most players tend to go for their favourite serves, but of course the opponents tend to know that. You know, one of the things I used to do was under pressure, almost all the time. The first point of a tiebreaker would be serve the ball into the body. I wasn't going to go for the lines. I wanted to get the serve in. If you go for a body serve, you're throwing the element of it going wide out. So you know you can either hit the net, you can go wide, or you can go long. So by cutting one of those elements out, your service percentage automatically rises by 33.3%. So you may not hit it exactly perfectly, but you know that you'll get a first serve in. I mean, that was my game. I knew my game very well, so I used that element. And you keep going back to the game plan. Know your game and know your game plan. Under pressure, you know where the opponent's weakness is. Use that. But the slower balls are the way you have time to think. When it's fast, you don't have time to think. You're just reacting. And that one was a slow one to Rybakina's forehand. She had all the time in the world to think where she was going to put that ball. Too much time.
Yeah, let's see whether that rattles her at all in this service game now. She's had that disappointment to withstand. Azarenka with a drop shot on the backhand. In comes Rybakina with a lovely little forehand dig down the line. Very nicely controlled. She doesn't panic in the forecourt.
That was very well done. It's actually a pretty good drop shot from Azarenka. Rybakina was right outside the doubles line. Drop shot. She came in and very calmly just balanced herself nicely. She didn't rush right into the ball, just ran straight onto it. Perfect balance. Pushed it right down the sideline. Nicely played.
Fault.
So this first serve by Rybakina. She's got 15 love here. Set and 3-2 she leads. Serves onto the backhand. It's hit down the centre by Azarenka. Backhand that has won her so many points over the years, but this one she's pulled cross-court and wide.
Backhand errors. A lot coming. It's a reliable shot. She screams at herself, looks up to their box. Goes, what's happening in my backhand? That's the most reliable shot.
Must be frustrating to lose your absolute weapon and strength. The forehand's gone off there as well, with the serve just bounding up at her face. Not easy.
She's still thinking about that backhand when the serve came in. She just wiped at that. The forehand went way long, wild one. But she's a great competitor. She'll regroup very quickly.
Backhand chip return, cross court by Azarenka is wide. And it's a love service hold for Rybakina.
Gee, I know the coach is thinking, that's 5-1.
Yeah.
If you hit that forehand over, broke serve, and had a game like that, it's 5-1, match is all but over for a player of her quality. I mean, it's never over until it's over, of course. But Azarenka's still in this match. It's over there getting her down and really letting her emotions go towards her box. As I said, she's a great competitor. She'll regroup. She's only one break down.
Yep. Serves down the centre onto the backhand. Now he's trading down the middle of the court with Rybakina, who's hitting her forehand lofted with topspin, but not enough topspin, and it goes long.
That was the right shot from Rybakina there. She was in the slightly defensive position, just to float it up deep, just to went a little long. Good, really good deep hitting from Azarenka there.
Exactly 10 years ago, Victoria Azarenka was the world #1. Elena Rybakina didn't even have a ranking because she was 13th. Here's a backhand that's not required for Rybakina because that's a double fault from Azarenka. And Azarenka's ranking in the years that have taken place since, she did manage to stay in the top couple of positions for a couple of years there, but then combination of injuries and then in 2017 when she had her son Leo, and subsequently a pretty acrimonious custody battle. She wasn't playing tennis for quite a while as she double faults again, Azarenka, and she's at 7-6, 4-2 down. Now she's at 15-30 on her own serve.
Well, she's done incredibly well to get herself out of so many situations like this tonight.
Four, 15-30. Here's a forehand hit cross court by Azarenka.
Oh,
she missed a miscued forehand by Rybakina. She has missed a couple of kind of sitters, really. Certainly shots you'd have expected her to make.
Yeah, Azarenka ran the other way. She was over in the forehand corner. Any shot in would have been the winner. Obviously, she didn't know that as she's hitting it, but she had a good sense that she'd fooled her opponent.
Fault.
Misses that first serve just by about an inch away from the centre service line. The ball smacking into our commentary box window here. Here's a forehand that's swiped cross court by Rybakina. She's really going after these. Wow. My goodness, that one's back edge of the line. That is not going to improve Azarenka's mood. Break point down for a double break once again.
Yeah, she caught it's her turn to catch the back edge of the line this time.
So can Azarenka fight this one off? Again, she throws the ball up and lets it bounce, and now she'll do it all over again. And Pat Cash is shaking his head because he can't believe that this is allowed. Serve out one onto the backhand. Rybakina hits the baseline with her return. Now she's set one up for Azarenka to attack, but Azarenka's missed the entire playing surface, including trap lines, with that forehand. And as a result, she's right on the brink of defeat now. 7-6, 5-2, double break. That was a bit of a shocker, that forehand.
Yeah, that's her timing. She's lost her timing, not just on the forehand. It was obviously the Rybakina's team game plan, break that forehand down, go hard into that forehand and break it down. But then when she has got the backhand, she's the tiebreaker, and then in this set the backhand's been missing. And there was an opportunity for her to finally a sort of a short ball that she could put away. Not that it was that short, that easy, but it was a good opportunity for her to really put that forehand away, and lost it completely. So it's you know, as I said, she's a very good competitor. She'll usually regroup, but she's letting this one get away from her, and she's just got to hope and pray that she doesn't get 4 big first serves in, and that Azarenka can claw her way back, just get into the rallies and hope that the Kazakh woman just gets a little tight. And are they new balls? That's not going to help.
No,
they're not.
No, she's not showing them to her opponent.
I thought I saw the kids.
So, Rybakina serving for the match, and a place in the final, but that's a tight-looking forehand from a decent deep return from Azarenka, halfway up the net from Rybakina, so love 15. First set was an absolute belter, an hour and 1 minute. Went to and fro, breaks on either side. Second set, not so much. Here's a forehand by Rybakina. She goes cross-court with it. Azarenka does really well to reach it and read it. She hits a forehand cross-court. That's a terrible forehand by Rybakina. Long. Goodness me.
Well, she's missed 4 very makeable forehands on big situations. Down the line. She prefers the cross-court. Azarenka's done her homework. That first short ball, she went straight across to cover that, did well. She had the line. Rybakina missed it.
Lofted return, lands in from Azarenka. She's got love 30, but not anymore. 15-30, because that was well executed from Rybakina. She let the ball drop and composed herself and powered away the inside-out forehand.
Yeah, element of safety there too, wasn't it? Didn't really go for it. Certainly if Azarenka had gone to that side, it would have been a really nice backhand for her to run onto, but she went the wrong way. Slower first serve. He's got some tension in it. She doesn't want to have to do a second serve.
Here is the second serve.
That's why.
Double fault. And she is really tight and tense, Rybakina, now. I mean, it's no great surprise. She's on the brink of an Australian Open final here, but the Wimbledon champion, I don't remember her looking like this in the summer.
No.
Tense, tight, nervous. Wants it, desperately wants it, but she's 15-40 down, 7-6, 5-2 up, still a double break for her, and she hits that forehand away okay from a big first serve. It was an understandably defensive short return. Still break Pat point though.
So she wants a big first serve. Azarenka's desperate for a second serve.
She's got the second serve to have a look at here. Azarenka, that one missed by quite some way from Rybakina. Azarenka edging forward, hitting her backhand return on the line. Oh, what a shot! What a shot to get one of the 2 breaks back.
What a shot indeed, because that was a very good second serve. It was really deep. I think just about skidded off the service line. And she just They went straight into the back. Quick shuffle, quick half a step to her right side to give her room for a full swing on the backhand. Bam! Straight down the line for a winner. Yeah, one break back.
So, Azarenka now serving to stay in the match and in the tournament, as that's a huge backhand hit cross court by Rybakina from the far end of the court. Wonder whether in a way it might be easier for her to return and try and win it that way.
It's hard to say. You wouldn't imagine it, would you, with a serve like that? But
maybe the pressure's off just a little bit.
Well,
now.
you don't have to think when you're returning. You just sort of have to react.
Fault.
You're standing up there serving. You've got all the options in the world. Overthink things. Hitches can come into your serve. Ball toss can go wonky.
Serve kicks up at Rybakina, who absolutely clobbers it with a forehand. Cross court. That was a bit of a short serve from Azarenka, and it got the treatment. Two points away now, Rybakina. Love 30 she has on the Azarenka serve.
Fault.
Rybakina at the far end of the court in her black visor, ponytail swishing around, and she watches a double fault go long from Azarenka. That will sting, that will hurt.
That ball toss went all over the place. As I said, the ball toss contrasts. They've been both a bit wonky with their ball tosses. Azarenka's caught about 10 of them at least. The easiest thing to practice as well, ball toss.
Under stress, it's gone awry. She tries to get this one right, and she does. Hits her back on the line. What a great shot from Azarenka, and she's still swinging. First of 3 match points saved. One point at a time for Victoria Azarenka as she tries to see off the danger. She serves down the centre, hits her forward down the line. Rybakina with match point, clips the top of the net with a backhand, then goes down the centre, backhand cross court, netted by Azarenka. She's had a fantastic tournament, Azarenka. She's reminded us of the player she was when she won this title twice. But Elena Rybakina is into the final just as she was at Wimbledon. Will she add the title just as she did at Wimbledon? Brilliant first set, one-sided second set, and it's Elena Rybakina who goes through to the Australian Open final.
Yeah, it was a good technical match, wasn't it? They both were working, they had their own tactics, they knew what they wanted to do. And particularly Rybakina's was, to get into that forehand area of Azarenka, go in hard, go in fast. And she does that so well, obviously trying to, with her serve power, trying to win as many games as she can as Azarenka waves goodbye to a lot of fans of hers. Remember her for all their great performances. And, Azarenka was trying to move Rybakina around the court. Everything fell apart in the tiebreaker under pressure, and then started to fall to pieces in that second set. Double faults, even her backhand was making some errors, and Rybakina just played a solid second set. I wouldn't say it was anything super spectacular, but she got the job done.
Elena, congratulations, you are through to your first ever Australian Open final. You must be very pleased and very proud, not just to be in the final, but with your performance tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I'm super happy and proud with my team also. Without them, it wouldn't be difficult to be here. And really thank you a lot, because without you, it's really it's incredible atmosphere, and I'm super happy to be in the finals and play one more time here.
They looked very nervous tonight, by the way. Did you see that? They were very nervous.
Of course they were nervous because they want me to perform well, and today was a bit tougher for me because it was different conditions. I couldn't play really aggressive tennis. The ball was not going so much, but I'm happy that in the end I managed to win, and yeah, I tried my best in the final, of course.
Now I just want to ask you, the original 9, 7 of the original 9 are here tonight. And I personally want to thank you for everything that you have done for women in tennis and beyond, and I speak for everyone when I say thank you. How special is it to play in front of these incredible legends here, and what they have done for women and for women's tennis to make it a leading global sport? But they risked everything, they risked their careers, and they gave us a voice. How special was it to play in front of them?
Yeah, it was really special and nervous, of course, and I want to say a big thank you from the players because it's unbelievable what you've done for us, for the new generation, and it means a lot.
This is your second Grand Slam final now, especially because it's your second out of the last 3 Grand Slams. But your first one, you said you were nervous, and that you were so nervous that you just wanted the match to be over. Now, do you go into the final in 2 days' time in a little bit of a different mindset? What have you learned from your Wimbledon final last year?
For sure, I got a lot of experience from Wimbledon, and to be honest, I just want to come on court and really enjoy the moment, enjoy the atmosphere, because it's really amazing to play in front of you guys. So thank you so much, and yeah, we see how it's gonna go, but for sure, I try my best. I fight, and yeah, hopefully, I'm gonna win.
Now, a few more people that might hope that you're going to win, are perhaps your parents and your sister. Your sister watched you win Wimbledon. She was there for the final. Are they here, and are they going to be here for the final, or are they going to be watching on TV?
They're actually here, and they're here from the beginning, so I'm super happy. It's first time when everybody here, parents and the sister, so it's really amazing, and I'm looking forward for the next match to play in front of everybody, and especially my parents.
You're winning so much when they are here, they might have to start traveling full time.
I guess so, because it was first time for my sister to come at Grand Slam at Wimbledon, so now she's here, and I think for the next Grand Slam for sure I'm gonna take her.
I'll start booking those tickets for the rest of the year. Elena, it has been a pleasure to watch you. We get to do it again in 2 days' time. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, Elena Rybakina.
The Wimbledon champion is through to Saturday's final. If we look at the live ranking, she has moved up to number 10 in the world. And should she win the final on Saturday, she'll be the 8th best player in the world. And Pat, I think we're just getting to know her a little bit more each time. She's got sort of smiling eyes. She's got a warmth about her, but she's got this steel that has taken her to a second Grand Slam final in 3 slams.
Yeah, she's got a sort of girlish quality about her, doesn't she? It's very charming. She's very sweet and kind and nice, and I think in many ways she's kind of surprised. She just got a very good game that's very difficult to play against. She's got big shots, and you know, even though she would have confidence in her game growing up, she probably has to pinch herself every once in a while to say, wow, look what I've done. I can't believe it. But she's getting used to these conditions, these situations. She might have been so nervous at Wimbledon, but tell you what, that didn't affect her at all, did it? Maybe she was a little bit nervous at the beginning of the match, but she played well. I mean, if you can play when you're that nervous and win Wimbledon and win it last set convincingly, that's a great quality somehow. But yeah, we did see the nerves come in. She said she found it. She struggled to finish off her previous match. She struggled to get through this. So she's human, but she's got such weapons that they can always rely on those under the pressure. The big serves, and even though she missed a couple of forehands, she's always got that cross-court forehand, which is very, very reliable, and a backhand cross-court. And the power, just easy power, comes off the racket, and that's partially genetics, partially talent and timing, of course, and it serves her well when she does get nervous.